Piker is a big streamer slash YouTuber, I think. I don't actually know the name, never heard of it until yesterday. And then apparently he said that streaming is a harder job than a normal job or something like that. So basically streaming is harder. Then somebody else tweeted that was stupid. Somebody else responded to the tweet. Asmongold is responding to some part of it. And since then, has been in Twitter wars with somebody called Goblin. He has done like a follow-up one. But this is the one we're going to be watching. This is the one that sparked all the drama for Asmon. I feel so sorry for him. So obviously, he's not the most hygienic fellow in the world, is he? Like, you know, he's a little bit like what some people would think of as kind of trashy or trampy or like skanky or whatever. Like, his room's disgusting and messy, and he's been quite open about the fact he doesn't shower very often, blah, blah, blah. Like, who cares? He doesn't have kids. He doesn't have, like, family to, like, worry about. Like, he doesn't have a job to go to, so he's literally in his room. What does it even matter? It doesn't even affect anybody. And it kind of bugs me how every time Asmongold does something wrong, the first thing people say to him is, go shower, you dirty such and such. Don't do... Like, they bring up his hygiene, like that's got anything to do with his opinion on any situation. We all know that Asmongold is, one, very forthcoming with his opinion, which I respect him for because I'm also the same, and two, that he's very like good at articulating what he's saying, and I think is quite normally open-minded about stuff. Obviously there might be some things that are kind of like distorted because he hasn't had a job in the real world for 10 years other than streaming, blah 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 blah. But like generally, I think he's quite a well-rounded person. And I just think that when people need to be like kind of pick on his appearance or his lifestyle to prove that he's saying something wrong, it drives me crazy. It kind of makes me want to take him, scoop him up into a little ball, and just keep him and protect him in like some bubble wrap or something, or cotton wool or something. It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. But that's kind of what's been happening. So we're gonna watch Asmon talking about Hasan Piker first, and then we'll go through the tweets.
Planning on streaming today. I actually wasn't even planning on streaming today. I was like, I think I'm gonna just take the day off. But I started reading Twitter. I was like, man, there's a lot of retards. Like, we gotta talk about this. Millionaire streamer Hasan Piker claims that a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you in the same way that streaming will. And the funny thing about this is that this kid goes and he says this to try to like fucking throw up a white flag. He's like, no, 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 I'm actually on your side. I agree with them. Bro, quit the fucking capping. Like, this kid is lying. You're lying. What do you mean you agree with this tweet when you preface it by saying millionaire streamer? You really think that we don't, like, you think I haven't spent the last 20 years seeing Fox News do this shit? Seeing CNN do this shit? He definitely is trying to roast the shit out of him. Like, what are we talking about? What a little rat. I can't believe this. It's like this guy goes and farms a bunch of hate. My message to Hasan fans, get a job. But then he agrees with the tweet. What are you doing? What a little rat. This guy farms hate on Hasan. He gets 15 people from Hasan's chat saying, I don't agree with you. You took it out of context. And then he's got to make a follow-up tweet about it. Like, oh no, stop bullying me. He changed his mind because Destiny said he agrees with Hasan. TC Brady is in Destiny's Discord.
Go ahead, adverts.
It's good to know that it wasn't really a principled stance. Let's listen to what Hasan says. And this is the clip that's taken apparently out of context. And we'll watch the full context in a minute, okay?
Yes, a real job can be gruesome. A real job can make you very tired. But a real job doesn't suck the soul out of you. You know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
If streaming's that bad, why is he still doing it? Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine being rich off streaming and then sitting there and bitching that streaming sucks the soul out of you. Like, do you know what I mean? How, like, entitled do you need to be? Like he's, like, a millionaire bitching that he has to talk on camera to become a millionaire for 9 hours a day, the normal length of time that is a normal shift in a normal job. Like, how ridiculous is that?
So,
Okay,
yes.
so that's the original clip, and there's apparently there's a clip here. It's a 2-minute clip, and so this is him explaining what actually was said.
No.
Okay, here we go.
No. Social battery wise, unless you're in fucking retail, it's very different. You're out of touch. I'm gonna die, dude. There's motherfuckers who are accountants in here and they're misunderstanding what I'm saying. A real job does not expend your social battery in the same fucking way as someone who did a sales job, a real job, okay? I'm telling you, as someone who did both, like 9 hours of constant performance and people pleasing taps you out from social scenarios. After 9 hours of that, I could probably do fucking physical labor. It would not bother me. But I can't fucking do more social shit. That's my point.
I'm the same way.
I kind of get what he's saying. Okay, so first of all, like, I don't really think he should be, like, talking about real jobs like he kind of knows about it. So I don't think he should have said this in a context of when you do a real job, because it's a bit like you don't even know what a real job is anymore. Like, I'm sort of not in a nice way. Good on him for, like, succeeding in streaming, obviously. Like, well done him. Like, I'd love to be him. But I don't really think he could talk about real jobs knowing what a real job is like. That being said, he has a point if he hadn't even talked about streaming and he just talked about jobs rather than, like, comparing streaming as a job. If he had just said that customer service or working in a school with people or working in retail is mentally taxing on your social like battery, more so than working construction, nobody would have kicked off about that, because that would have been the same. When I come off streaming, I'm absolutely exhausted and I don't want to talk. But is streaming a harder job than any other? No, it's definitely a demanding job, but it's not harder than other jobs. And I find that when I came home from my retail job or my school job, I was definitely more mentally taxed. So he's wrong, but I was definitely more mentally taxed doing those jobs than I ever am streaming. Obviously, I'm not a big streamer, so it doesn't, like, my comparison might be different to his. But I think that working a real job where you have to have people in your face talking shit at you because they're in a bad mood, or kids who won't listen to you because they're being little brats today, like all of that kind of thing, that is so much more mentally taxing than the social aspect of streaming. This is fun. Do you know what I mean? When I talk to you guys, it's fun. Like, so even though it's tiring, and when I come off my stream at the end of the day, we go into our silent voice chat and I don't want to talk because I've talked all day, but it's not soul draining. Do you know what I mean? It's just draining, but it's definitely not more soul draining than any normal job where you work in retail and you have, like, the fifth person complaining because the price of coffee's gone up, and you've got somebody who's made a mess on the floor and you have to go clean it up and smile, then you've got somebody else yelling at you because their coffee's not warm enough and stuff. That is so much harder and more mentally taxing whilst you've got to stand there with a fake smile on your face than being here talking whilst playing games or watching videos and everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's so naive to compare the two. Like, I think he should have made the same statement without mentioning streaming. I think the working in retail and a social setting like that is harder than construction, or, I don't know, working as a bin man or something, or working as a letter sorter in the post office. I think it's harder than those. But he should have brought streaming into it, because I think the only thing that's difficult about streaming is the amount of hours you have to put in to be successful. Like, we all know that that's, like, the killer, and that's what stops most people from making it. And the fact that you have to constantly be, like, think of, like, new things to come up with. I can't think what the word is. but think of like original content and blah 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 blah, as well as the energy you put in. So it's like a taxing job in the hours and the effort you put in, and it's a hard job to do, but it doesn't compare to most normal jobs. That's why we choose to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he's a bit of an idiot for comparing streaming to anything else. The only thing you could compare streaming to is the long hours and the loneliness of it. I think streaming is quite lonely because although we talk here, you don't see people properly, and you like, if you go out, you know in the back of your mind you're technically losing something work-wise by not being present. So it's definitely like a long-hour job. It's definitely a hard job, but it doesn't compare to most jobs out there. I don't think he should have put the two together. I think that was silly on his part and probably ruined every single thing that he was trying to say. Because I do understand what he's trying to say. Like the mentally draining of your social battery, that makes complete sense. Like 100%. But he just shouldn't have compared the two together. And it would have completely like eradicated his entire point and comment. Because now, as you can see, that's all anybody will focus on. Instead of actually the point of him saying, man, I'm drained from talking to people all day, is what he meant.
Like, there are obviously real jobs out there that are good comparisons. Service sector, people-pleasing jobs would be very similar. Those are like, I think, customer service type shit. But like, if you're an accountant or if you're even like in sales, my interactions with clients was limited. Way more limited than like constantly having to do this for 9 hours with like a back and forth interaction for 9 hours. That's what like sucks your social battery and you just tap out after it.
Yeah, I do understand what he's saying with it.
Yeah, think about it this way. Like, you give presentations for your job, right? Imagine giving a presentation for 9 hours straight. It's like, after a while, you would be like, I don't want to talk.
Or the department manager just occasionally is just like, hey, you suck, bitch. Bald ass bitch, you fell off, huh? We're gonna remember this in your performance review. You fat fuck. Stupid ass bitch.
Oh my god.
Ever again.
Yeah.
So people are getting mad. It's a bad take. What's it a bad take of? He says that he gets exhausted socially because he's talking to people for 9 hours a day. You really think that's not true? I mean, you really think it's not true that after you spend 9 hours being investigated by thousands of people with every facial movement, everything you say, every word, with people constantly trying to disagree with you and fight with you, that's not socially draining. This is totally understandable.
See, I completely agree. Like, I'm now really confused how they've been getting so much flack for this, actually, because I assumed that this Hasan dude was basically going to be a twat in this situation, and it turns out I agree with them. I just don't agree that you can compare them, but that doesn't deny the fact that it exists. Do you know what I mean? It's like, for example, like, let's say the Boyan is at work all day. He works in a warehouse, right? Put in like, I don't know, making plugs and stuff that get sent off like for the army and stuff. I don't know. It's a very like, it's a boring job to me. I was like, man, building pieces, whatever. And then you take a job like I tend to do, which always is customer facing. I'm a people person. So every single job I have involves people of some kind, either retail, fast food, schools, streaming, like everything I do involves people. Boyan is the exact opposite and would do everything he can to not be around people. Not in a nasty way. He just likes to get on with his work, quietly, chill. He does it. Does that mean that when he goes to work and he comes home that he's not tired? It's like, of course he's tired. He's just tired from his experience. And therefore, a social customer service, no ways, Loki, a social customer service person would be tired on a different level. Yes, it might not be as physically draining as whatever warehouse people are doing, but it's still taxing in their way. And therefore, a streamer who has to be like the presentation was a very good comparison actually to that viewer in Hasan's I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I hope I'm saying it right. In his chat said about the 9-hour presentation. That's like a perfect example of how like long it is to talk on a stream, especially if you're a very active talking streamer. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of dumb for anybody to be cross that they are saying that it is socially draining to talk all day. And you think how much abuse and crap streamers get all the time. The bigger they get, the worse it is. I watch Asmon's chat and it pisses me off just watching the way they talk to him, and he has to siphon through all the garbage they say to him, telling him he's crap, telling him he's stupid, he's rubbish, he's wrong, play a game like this, don't be disgusting, tidy your room, like your opinions are wrong, blah 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 blah. And then to then think, oh well, he must just come off stream skipping. Like that would be mentally taxing for anybody. Can you compare it to another job? Probably not. But that doesn't mean to say that for the streamer, now I'm not talking about myself because obviously like, but like, especially big streamers or like full-time streamers, blah, 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 like these guys and anybody I'd say with over 100 viewers. So even like the smaller big streamers, you know what I mean? I think anybody like that, like, I don't think anybody should be able to judge them for finding it socially and mentally taxing to be on camera for so many hours a day. And I think anybody who thinks that that is just a like happy-go-lucky day, it's probably a bit thick. Do you know what I mean?
And he's not comparing it to every other job. He's saying compared to other jobs where you're not talking to people constantly. His take isn't broad enough. Yeah, it is. He explained it pretty clearly. The clip out of context was posted 30 minutes after he said that. Instantly on Reddit, it blew up calling him a dumbass, which just reinforces his argument. Well, yeah, it's definitely understandable. Exactly. Just think nobody.
You can imagine that. What other job is there in the world, right, where you say a sentence and within 30 minutes the internet is like blowing up with your name, calling you all kinds of things. Like if you mess up in a coffee shop or you mess up in a sales job and you say something stupid, only the office talk about you. Do you know what I mean? Like imagine like you come off your stream and you find out that all this torrent of abuse you've just endured because you said something and it was clipped out of context, and actually what he said after made sense. Like when he elaborated on it, it made sense. And yet then he still comes off and finds all of this crazy stuff going on.
What's really socially draining? Well, not saying it isn't, but it's not as bad as others. I think that so streaming as like a job is extremely socially draining. It is. That's why there's a weird catch-22 where a lot of streamers are introverted, but being a streamer requires you to do a lot of things that extroverts want you to do. So in order to be good at something, you have to be one way, and in order to cope with it, the success of being good at it, you have to be another way. And so that's what it is. Hasan's basically explaining that in a more, direct way, you could say, a simpler way. And he's getting shit on. But a lot of people think they're introverted whenever they're actually extroverts. Well, I don't know about that. Did you start the stream and went right into this? Yeah, because I usually spend the first hour of my stream talking about nothing. And then I don't play video games until it's midnight or 5 hours into the stream. I didn't do anything. We gotta get this shit done. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today. I don't have time to fucking sit around and talk.
They're literally proving his point. They're literally, he's talking about how draining and taxing and like socially draining being a streamer is, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, no, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not. But why are you doing this so early? Like, why aren't we playing games yet? Why aren't we doing this? And it's like, he's now got to explain himself on stream why he's doing things in the order that he's doing in order to appease the crowd. Oh my god, my nose is itchy. In order to appease the crowd, which is exactly the point that him and Hasan were trying to make by saying that it's taxing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're literally doing it to Asmon as they are denying it. Do you know what I mean? Oh my god, people are so frustrating sometimes.
Talk about like, oh, I went live late today because my back hurt. Oh my god. We really need to hear about this again? Who the fuck cares? So yeah. Like, we're not going to get into that again. Having streaming as a job is an exhausting situation. Yeah, of course it is, right?
The thing is, almost every job in the whole world is exhausting. I don't know about you, but name a job that is full-time, because obviously we're comparing to full-time social customer service, full-time presenter-y people, full-time streamers, full-time warehouse, full-time, what do you call it, construction. Like, name a single job that isn't draining. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there isn't one. It wouldn't be called work if it wasn't work. Look at you. You could be a motivational speaker like that. Like, literally. But, like, there's a reason that you get paid to do it, because otherwise no one's going to do it. Like, it's either physical or mentally draining. Exactly. So, to kind of, like, say that, like, for anybody to imply that streaming, like I said, I'm not saying that it's harder, because I actually don't think it's harder, but I can understand. That's just my personality. Not every single personality handles every single situation the same. Like, I don't think it's harder. If Boyan had to stream or talk to customers, he would probably vomit every single day. He is the most introvert person you will probably ever meet. It's like, so if he had to be on stream, that would make it the hardest job in the world for him. That would be harder than working in a school, harder than doing sales, harder than doing, like, working in Costa Coffee. Like, it all depends on the person. And it's like, and of course, every single job is tiring, either physically or mentally, like, no matter what. So for anybody to imply that it's not, it literally just comes down to the fact that streamers make a lot of money. Big streamers make a lot of money, so people think that they have it easy. And it's like, they might make a lot of money, but that doesn't negate what they're doing in a bodily function kind of way. It just means they are reaping a lot of benefits from what they're doing. Unfortunately, the coffee girl or the salesman does not reap the same benefits. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, should they? Would be nice if it was even, but it's not. That's just a fact of life. But that doesn't negate how much the streamer or the coffee girl works. They are still all the same, and each individual person experiences it differently. And I completely agree. Like I said, I'm absolutely tapped out after a stream. Obviously, I stream less now because I'm pregnant. But at the end of the day, I just stop talking. Like I said, I just don't talk. I come off the stream and I'm like, everyone just shush. Just shush. I was like, I just need half an hour. And I literally sit in silence. I just don't talk for about half an hour. I say hi to the kids, give them squishies, and I sit. It's like, how can anybody not understand that? My husband would hate streaming. It would exhaust him. Yeah, exactly. Like, it would kill Boyan. He would just not be able to do it at all. Like, at all. A lot of jobs my generation are trying to do are mentally draining, but they're doing it because they don't leave the house. Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of, like, the at-home stuff does tend to, sorry, I'm just fidgeting, does tend to be, like, more socially interacting, because you're either, like, a call center person, or you're like online like this, or you're like a customer service representative on the phone. Like, they don't tend to be like physically, obviously, because you're in your house. But that doesn't mean that they're not tiring. That doesn't mean it's not knackering. Like Sky, who's lurking somewhere in the background. Sky, he works like at home full time, and he takes phone calls, and he deals with meetings, and he does like I'm not going to name what the job is because it's, hi, I be here. I'm not naming his job because it's not my job to name. So if he chooses to name the job, that's cool. But he does meetings with the other team. He does phone calls with the clients and then deals with like other officey stuff in between that. And that's like saying that at the end of his 8-hour day, he's not allowed to be socially or mentally exhausted because it's not a taxing job. It's like, of course it still counts. And if that counts, so does something like streaming. Just because they're millionaires doesn't mean it's not hard work. Like, that's such a, I'm going to say, it's such a jealous poor person thing to say. And I'm allowed to say that because I'm poor. I'm a broke bitch and I have no money. So I'm allowed to say that. But it's such a jealous poor person's mentality. Like, where they just kind of, it's because they're making so much from it, they shouldn't be allowed to complain. And like, yeah, they shouldn't complain about money, but they can still complain about their physical being. And he wasn't even complaining anyway. He was just comparing and saying how being socially active for 9 hours is tiring, which it is.
Hasan is right. People are just reactionary. They absolutely are. Someone actually said real job. What does that mean? A real job is a job that you have. Bullshit jobs are the ones that other people have. It's just that simple. It's quite trendy and quite frankly easy to shit on Hasan. That's the crux of it all. Well, hey, if it's so easy to shit on him, then why are you making up fake reasons to do it? If he's got so many bad takes and he says all this stuff that's wrong, then why not focus on that rather than taking something that's totally understandable?
Oh my God.
And then turning
honestly,
it in.
it's going to take us ages to get through. Honestly, I genuinely thought I was going to come on here, and because I saw all the, a whole bunch of the shit and stuff that Asmon's been getting on Twitter because of the way he's been responding to this, like I said, we're going to go to Twitter after this. I genuinely thought I was going to come on and be a bit like, oh, Asmon, please don't say that. Oh, no, like, I don't like to talk bad about him because I actually respect him. So even if I don't agree with his opinion, I still don't, like, slate him. Do you know what I mean? Because he's entitled to his opinion. But I was completely expecting to come on and disagree with this Hasan and disagree with Asmongold. And then it turns out that Twitter just blew this thing up into something that doesn't even exist. And it tricked me into thinking that they were both idiots over this situation. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, actually, no, I agree with everything they're saying. Doing anything for 9 hours is always going to be exhausting. Exactly. We all have the right to complain about our jobs, no matter how much we enjoy them. It's part of life. Exactly. I love working in cafes. It's actually, like, up there. If I was to pick any job to, like, go and do part-time, I mean, it's why I worked at a cafe last year when I had to work for a year. If I was to pick a job to go to, I love working in a cafe. Wish it was on my doorstep so I don't have to walk for 30 minutes to get there. But I absolutely love it. But does that mean I didn't come home at the end of the day and I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking knackered. Oh, this customer said this to me today, blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's the same thing. Do you not think when I come off stream, if we've had like 10 trolls come in here and call me like a whore or mention my teeth or tell me I'm fat, like I don't really know how they manage that one, but they tell me I'm fat, tell me that I don't know who my baby daddy is because I'm such a slag and all these things, like obviously the things that I get called and like they've been said to me over the last couple of weeks, I come off stream and I cry and I sulk and I moan about it, but you know what? I still like my job and I still like coming here, but just because I had like something bad happens and it drains me doesn't mean I can't like my job at the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's so dumb.
Into something that it's not. He makes thousands of dollars a day. Him making takes trying to relate to normal working people is fucking stupid. Well, there are normal working people that also make thousands of dollars a day.
Literally.
So, like, I don't really understand, like, what your point is.
And just because he makes lots of money from the job doesn't mean his body doesn't function the same way. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's still going to get mentally exhausted. No different from you being yelled at, just like when I get yelled at by clients. Exactly, exactly. It's all just the same thing in different situations.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean? It's a stupid comparison. Yeah, like what? Like, you think streamer is the only job that you can make a lot of money in? I have tons of friends that make tons of money. And a lot of them aren't streamers. Yeah, what do you mean? Like, that's, yeah, what the fuck?
Oh, he's
No.
winding himself up. Can you see that?
Chatter can't think past 2. Exactly. They're not normal anymore. Well, I think that is normal as in, like, they don't work in entertainment. Right? They don't work in entertainment. Why do people
That's like the dumbest thing ever. To say that because somebody is successful money. I don't know if you caught what was just said. So this was his chat. Basically, Asmongold said that he has friends who make lots of money and they aren't streamers. Somebody in chat said, well, they're not normal anymore. As in, because now these other people make lots of money, they're no longer a normal working person because they're now minted, right? That's basically what they just said. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Imagine being successful in your job. You are a CEO of some fantabulous corporation and everything. So now you're making like 100,000, 150,000 a year. I don't know how much they make, so I'm just going to say that 100,000 a year. And now you don't get to be normal and think about what it's like to be tired from work because you successfully built yourself up through all the shit and the grime and like the crap and moved all through the levels that now you are up there. You need to shut the fuck up and be grateful for what you've got. That's literally what that means. Like, how dumb is that? Does that mean that the head teacher at a school that's earning 60, 70,000 while the teachers are earning 20, 30,000, that means that the head teacher's not allowed to be tired at the end of the day in the same way that the teachers are because he earns more money? That's literally, that is the dumbest thing. Oh, I wish I could tell that person to their face, except I won't because I'm a coward. But like, oh my God, that is like the dumbest thing I've ever actually heard. Sorry, James, you don't understand me because you make more money than me. So you're not normal anymore, okay? Because you are in a different tax threshold to me. So I obviously am struggling more than you. Like, you don't get to have an opinion. Get back in your entitled corner. Like, do you know what I mean? How dumb is that? Ugh.
Assume that money solves all your issues and doesn't drain you? Well, hey, Kanye West said it. He said that there. I was gonna make a joke, but I figured actually, you know what? We'll give that another 6 months before I make those jokes. He said, having money isn't everything, but not having it is. I think that's really the truth, right? That's it. So, like, if you don't have money, that's everything in your life. If you do have money, you realize that there are other problems in life that are also important. But if you don't have that, money is going to mean more to you than almost anything else.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like, I'm poor. A lot of the stuff in my life would be fixed by money. But then obviously if I got there, who knows what is on the other side.
Streamer doesn't make a lot of money. When you actually normalize the salary, engineers, doctors, people in trades make median more than a streamer. Streaming is extremely top heavy. Well, of course it is. And there are a lot of people that are grinding away and they stream 8 hours a day and they get, let's say, 300 viewers, 500 viewers. They make $100,000 a year. Let's be very, very optimistic here. They make $100,000 a year. And, like, I'll be real. If somebody was making that much money and, you know, like, it was like, is this really a good idea for you to do this? Probably not. $100,000 is still a lot. It is a lot, but whenever you think about the fact that streaming is just so transient, like, for example, you can get banned. Oh, well, now you're banned. Now what? Like, all of your job experience, everything that you did, like, it's completely different. Like, you have, like, a 3-year gap in employment. You have, like, this online presence that, you know, creates a context in which people see you. So, yeah, you can get fired. Exactly. No, yeah, you definitely can get fired. But the difference is that, like, streaming, there are jobs that exist in entertainment that streaming helps you understand and learn. That's definitely true. But at the same time, there are also a lot of people, and I think in most traditional jobs, those people don't really have the same opportunities. It's like, for example, if you work as an accountant and you get fired from one place, it's not going to be as hard to get another job as an accountant versus if you work on Twitch and you stream on Twitch, you get banned on Twitch, it's probably going to be a lot harder for you to transition over to YouTube or Kick. That's my point, right? There's negative externalities if a streamer wants to get a real job. Yeah, of course. And so it's really not that complicated. But anyway, yeah, so Hasan said this today, and naturally everybody is congratulating themselves about, here's a dumbass clip, Hasan being welcomed into the emo community. Oh yeah, I did. Oh yeah, he did the emo. I saw that with that Johnny guy. I looked at that earlier. And so there's a lot of people, streaming is literally the easiest part of being a content creator. You just sit down, make money.
This is the goblin dude who we're gonna, in a minute, we're gonna swap to the tweets once we're done with this. He's now having like a Twitter war. It's not a Twitter war, like few back and forth. I think his responses are quite awesome, to be fair. He's now like having like a few words with each other in Twitter posts, which I've lined all up ready to go. But this is the one that kind of blew up for Asmon, I think. The fact that he reacted to this person, whoever this person is. So this goblin is reacting to Hasan, says something bad about him. He's now about to say something bad about him. And then it kind of like jumps back and forward on Twitter.
Just spawns in. It's that earlier. And so there's a lot of people, streaming is literally the easiest part of being a content creator. You just sit down, make money, just spawns in. It's just so goddamn free. Who is this guy? Does he stream?
Oh.
Yeah, 400 viewers. Streaming is easy. Being good at streaming is hard.
Yeah, 100%.
Hopefully now he understands. I understand.
100%. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I turn up here every single day, but we don't like get big numbers. We probably won't ever get big numbers. And it's like, no matter how much like I put into it, we probably still won't, because it is so damn hard. I talk about this all the time. It's so, like at home, I think it's so damn hard to get to that level, not 200, not like 50 viewers, not 200 viewers, not 1,000 viewers, but to get to the point where you are in the thousands and tens of thousands. Like, that's insanely hard to do. Like, it doesn't just happen overnight. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's effort. That's hard to do.
Obviously, there's a lot of people. Bad take. No, isn't 400 viewers good? Oh, it's definitely good. But you're not going to go and tell somebody who's one of the top streamers on the entire platform that it's easy. Do you really think that Hasan's experience and this random's experience is going to be the same streaming?
You know, obviously not.
Of course 400 viewers is good. But don't go talk to somebody who gets 20,000 regularly and act like you're on the same level, because you're not. All streamers have some kind of cope. Well, what's the cope here? I mean, I'm not really sure if I'm understanding this. You say people disagree with his take on the whole job thing, made up fake reason to shit on him for it. When you added a word to his take socially, it does a lot of heavy lifting, unless I miss some context, kind of disingenuous. Well, he's talking about socially. Like, the reason why I'm saying that is because that's what he's saying. So, for example, like, if I listen to the clip, right? Like, you just listen to the first few seconds of the clip.
No. Social battery-wise, unless you're in
So, I'm not using the word, I listen to the clip. That's all. It's not hard. I think most people made up their mind on something like this before they listened to it. So whenever they have to hear context that makes their original assumption wrong, they're getting mad at me.
Yeah. It's literally,
that's the problem. Exactly. It's like a supermodel saying they have a harder job than a catalog model. Well, I'm not really sure. Hasan's an artist. His father famous for being Young Turks. Everybody always has their opinion about Hasan. And I understand that you might not like things that Hasan has said on his stream. There are things that he might have said that have upset you, that have made
I don't
you
even know who the
mad,
dude is.
that you don't like. Why not focus on the real ones? Why are you inventing things that didn't happen and then getting mad about them? It makes you look stupid. If you have all of these problems with somebody, then it doesn't seem very legitimate whenever you have to make up new problems that don't actually exist.
Imagine always being mad about everything.
That's
I know,
what my
right?
opinion is.
The amount of energy that takes.
They're
oh
soft.
my god.
Yes, the guys are making what's this here? A career. These guys making a career of being bitter. Isn't that pathetic? Oh yeah, absolutely. The area of conversation with politics is more draining than some other types of streaming. Oh yeah. Hasan didn't start from zero. Who cares if he did? Very few people start really from zero. Most people have advantages, and I'll tell you one thing. If you're able to be talking in this chat, you didn't start from zero either. There's people in the world that don't have an internet connection, and you do. But somehow you're going to be complaining about how you can't fix your life, and those people who don't have an internet connection are working to get one. So you can complain and cry about, oh, Hasan got in, he's a Young Turks, his uncle worked there, and all these things can be true. But the reality is that all of us have different degrees of privilege. That's why we're here. Do you really think that somebody without privilege, without any privilege, is going to be sitting at 9 p.m. watching a video game stream? Get the fuck out of here. Come on. What are you thinking? Being alive is a privilege. Oh, yeah, for sure. And also, people can't control, this is the other thing. People can't control the circumstances that they're born under. Whether that means if they're disabled, whether that means if they're white, black, male, female, gay, not gay, straight, I guess you could say. Whether they're poor, whether they're rich, whether they're short, whether they're tall. So I find it to be odd that we all agree that it's generally not a good idea to make fun of people for things that they can't control, but somehow people have no problem demonizing a person because they had advantages that they also couldn't control either.
Here, so this goblin dude, so this is the guy that Asmongold just, like, went and checked out his channel because he said the bad thing about, excuse me, Asmon said the bad thing about his page that we just saw, yeah? So then this goblin tweets, Buddy conveniently skipped over the YouTube stats to target a platform I post on once a month. Whatever fits the narrative, I guess. So basically, he's bitching, basically saying, Twitch isn't my main channel, YouTube is, and you clicked off it, right? So then Asmongold tweeted back to him saying, I clicked off, because he literally, if you saw in the video, I'll see if I can get it. Hang on.
Obviously, so goddamn
So this is how
free.
quickly he touches
Who
his
is
YouTube
this
channel.
guy? Does he stream? Yeah, 400 viewers. Streaming is easy.
So he clicked off it really quickly, right? So then this goblin dude... Yeah, so he says, Buddy, conveniently skipped over the YouTube stats to target a platform I post on once a month, whatever fits the narrative. And then... Hang on, I've lost the tab that I needed that in. So then Asmon responds back saying, I clicked off your YouTube because your second most recent video has a thumbnail of selling drugs to a little kid and your entire channel is dedicated to drugs. I don't personally care about this, but it could be viewed as against the Twitch TOS. So basically, because the dude, like if we scroll down, here is the page. And basically, that's what he does. Now, apparently, the whole point of this is to say, don't sell drugs to little kids. It's bad. Is apparently what the video is. Not go sell drugs to little kids. So, I did kind of like scroll through to see if this person was cuckoo cachoo. But no, it's meant to be like the badness of it. But, like, yeah, that's why Asmon clicked straight off his YouTube was because, was because of that and focused on his Twitch. But yeah, so that dude tweeted that, and then Asmon responded to his response somewhere, and said, you seem pretty upset about this. If you want to come on my stream and explain your perspective, let me know. And this is around the time that basically people started going crazy about Asmon. They're going, do lally. Goblin says, yeah, I'm not contributing to your content farm, my guy. More than happy to have a discussion via DM or call or whatever else, you name it. Otherwise, you could just stream your reaction to my tweet since that seems to be your thing. Asmon's like, afraid of looking stupid on stream. I don't blame you. You're going to get farmed for content regardless. I figured I'd at least give you a chance to defend yourself. I was like, oh my god. But then, like, this whole thing, like, so, like, basically, people are saying that Asmon's take is bad, and basically, like, the way he talks is bad, blah, blah, blah. And, like, this is what I was saying at the beginning, it pisses me off so much when I see people say things like, in one of them, oh, yeah, look, take a shower. Like, people are, like, dissing him. Then... Asmon, based on your diet and lifestyle, I'm pretty sure drugs would actually have a positive effect on your overall health and life. Do you know what I mean? Like, these people are such, like, I don't know, hillbillies or something, that they can't even, like, have an intellectual conversation or an intellectual input about the fact that they don't like Asmongold's input or whatever. That the only thing that they can say in reaction to it is to talk about his appearance or his lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? Like, his lifestyle has no bearing or relevance on what he said in relation to this tweet. Yet that's what people, like, will kind of react to. It drives me crazy. Then this goblin tweeted... here we go. So then this goblin, who's clearly, like, just an absolute twat. Not once... I'm just going to scroll down so you don't see. Not once did Asmon criticize the way he looked, his lifestyle, or anything on his tweet, other than the fact that he can't compare his situation to that of somebody with 20,000 viewers. Okay, so he didn't personally attack this guy at all. Even in the responses in the tweets, he didn't attack the guy. He's just like, he explained why he didn't show the YouTube, because there's drugs on there. He explained he could come onto his stream and talk if he wants to. Like, talk about giving free clout. Like, even if the people didn't agree with Goblin's take, how much clout would that give a 400 viewer streamer to go on Asmongold's stream? Do you know what I mean? Asmongold doesn't need to give up his stream time to make some 400 viewer streamer feel better. Do you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have to do that. Even if it gets Asmon, like better stream content, blah, 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 blah. Like, he still doesn't need to. He could just rip this guy if he wants to. And then Asmongold's like, obviously then he made a snarky comment back after that. Then this guy, who clearly has no intellectual input whatsoever, was like, you having any stance on a discussion about hard work is grand. You wipe your teeth blood on the wall of your mother's house you still live in, as you've tweeted before. You grift reaction content all day, every day, because WoW is dead and your talent died with it. You agree with whatever the most popular figure says so it can get you more updates on your audience of Reddit mods. You've been doing this for years. You and Hasan are multi-millionaires who have never had to work a day in their lives. You made millions of dollars from being a loser. Your entire persona is doing nothing with your life, yet you think you could comment on hard work. Sorry, I don't have 20k viewers. I guess that makes my opinion invalid. I'll start shitting out reaction content and becoming a contrarian, so maybe I can get to your level, Mr. Hardworking Streamer. What an absolute twat thing to say. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I said, no point did Asmongold criticize this guy for his personality, for his anything. All he said was he can't be compared to... I'm going to put me back. He can't be compared to Hasan. So therefore, Hasan, like, he shouldn't have that, like, compared the two together. Hey, Nacho, how you doing? Like, and it just drives me, it drives me crazy. And it's like, at the end of the day, just because Asmon hasn't worked, like, a hard-working job in the last however long, just because Hasan hasn't worked in a hard working job in however long, doesn't mean that their current job isn't hard work. It just means they are so freaking lucky that they, like, get to do that job that they're doing that is that is a well-paid job. Do you know what I mean? But it's not well-paid for most people, which means they have to have grafted to get there. And this dude who's criticising Asmon, do you think that at the end of the day, he's not going to come off his stream, turn around to his missus if he has one, or his mother if he lives in a basement? I'm going to assume he doesn't. That he turns around to his missus, or his cat, or his dog, or his sister, or his friend, and be like, fuck me, I'm tired. Oh, that was draining today. Like, is he never going to complain that he's tired? Like, of course he's going to. And just like somebody who works in customer service will come home, and some days they'll say work was amazing, and some days they'll say work was crap. Like, it's the same thing. Just because these streamers earn more money doesn't negate the effort they had to put into it. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they just go out, stand there with a bucket in the middle of the street. Even though that would be tiring for a whole day anyway, but let's just pretend. Sit in the sunshine with a bucket, and people just put millions of dollars in there. That's obviously not how it happens. Like, and then to personally attack somebody because you don't have anything, like, intelligent to say is, like, that just shows your level of, like, annoying, I can't think of anything intelligent to say. Like, your level of common behaviour to, like, speak like that. You know, like when you're in school and somebody has an opinion and they say, like, oh, well, I don't think that was right because X, Y, Z. And it's like an useful thing to say. And then they go, well, I don't think you're right because of X, Y, Z. And then they go, yeah, well, I think you're stupid. And the other one goes, yeah, well, I think your mum's fat. Do you know what I mean? And instantly, this is not an intelligent debate or discussion anymore. This is just sniping at each other because you have nothing intelligent to say. It's like when you have an argument and someone starts swearing. It's like you're only swearing because you have nothing intelligent to articulate your thoughts with. That's literally what this guy is doing to Asmon. And Asmon is right, and so is Hasan. So this whole thing is over them being absolutely right. It's not even down to opinion. Like, it's literally, like, obviously a lot of things are opinion based, and you could be like, oh, well, that's happening because, like, that's obviously my opinion that that's happening, and that's my opinion, I think this. This is not down to opinion. This is absolute biological fact that working is hard work. No matter what your job is, being up for 12 hours a day is tiring. Being up for 20 hours a day is tiring. Talking all day is tiring. Cooking food all day is tiring. Like, it's all freaking tiring. And if you do something for, like, 10 hours consecutively, you are going to be drained from that act. So if you cook all day, you are not going to want to come home and cook a meal for your family. You're going to hope that your husband or wife does it. If you are if you are a painter and a decorator, you don't want to come home after painting somebody's house for 10 hours and have to paint your lounge. You're going to want to come home, pop open a beer and put the telly on with your feet up. If you talk all day, you are not going to want to socially interact with people. Maybe on the odd occasion you will, but most of the time you want some chill time. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid to think that just because they make lots of money, that means that they can't be tired from what they do. And this guy is just an absolute knob. Like, to bring up something like that because you have nothing else to say, like, and then imply that they've never had to work a day in their life. They literally work, you stupid idiot. Like, that is work. Make millions of dollars for being a loser. Have to name call because you have nothing else to say. Like, it's literally ridiculous. And he didn't say his opinion was invalid because he didn't have 20,000 viewers. He said that his 400 viewers cannot be compared to the same experience of that of 20,000. Like, what absolute, like, moron. Like, I'm not even moron because I didn't read this earlier. I saved this last one until I was on here, so I didn't read that. So that's why that extra riled me up because I wasn't prepared for it. If I could live in my mum's basement, I think she doesn't have a basement. Build one. Can't listen to condos, right by school for the Breakfast Club movies. It's going to be very expensive. Yeah, maybe don't do that then. Hey, Loki. Welcome back. But yeah, like, that's just, like I said at the beginning, I thought that this Hasan had done something wrong based on, like, the explosion online. And, this is, look, so this is the one he said, you seem pretty upset about this, but so I've obviously done it in the wrong order, but imagine he says all this nasty shit to him like this, and then Asmon still doesn't even react with a nasty attack. Do you know what I mean? He's still so much above this loser here that he still just says, do you want to come on my stream and explain your perspective? Let me know. Like, do you know what I mean? If somebody spoke to me like that, you could bet I would not be so passive like this. Like, even if he is being a bit snarky, oh, you come on my stream and let me know your perspective. He probably is being a bit snarky, but damn fucking right. Why wouldn't he be? Look at the state of what he said. What a nasty, nasty, nasty person. Oh my God. What a nasty person. When I see crap like that, it makes me like ashamed that this is like what we spend our days doing. Obviously, I'm not even in the same bracket as this 400 person. Like, obviously, I'm like this little, like, tiny, like, ant compared to, like, he's like a woodlouse and I'm like an ant. And then you've got, like, the other dude is like, I don't know, a beetle or something. Do you know what I mean? We're like, So I know I'm like a tiny little speck of an ant. But it does make me, like, ashamed that when I say that I stream, people like that are in the same association as something I do. Like, not that I want to stop what I do because I enjoy doing this with you guys, but it does make me embarrassed for the whole community, for everyone. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think there's anything wrong with being a React streamer as long as you do other stuff as well. If you just like troll the internet, also no, I'm reacting, so it sounds a bit like hypocritical, doesn't it? But if you like troll the internet, then for only React content, that's all you do. I came across another stream. I won't name names because like no need to name a shame. But she only reacts to content, but she's really like bored doing it. And I watched her stream to see what she was like. And she was really like, so we're going to watch this. And she kind of put it on and she kind of talked like this. This is just sort of how she did. Then she was rude to somebody in chat. And like that kind of React content person is like lazy. XQC can sometimes be lazy with his React content. So when it's like that, I get that it's like kind of like a cliche no, like it's like not very an intelligent-y streamery thing to do. But when you like game and you discuss like, because React content isn't just let me watch this funny video and laugh with it with you. React content, if it's done well and right, and the type of content, React content that I like to watch is more informative. Let's all get together and discuss the topics in today's world. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, this has happened somewhere in the world, so let's watch this and then talk about it together. Like we did yesterday with that family YouTuber who went to prison or is going to prison. Do you know what I mean? Like, React content doesn't have to be this bad thing. It just depends on how they do it. And I think the way that Asmongold does it is awesome. He's actually the only React content streamer that I will watch because I know I'm going to get an intelligent and thorough opinion and, like, definitely well-rounded show of whatever it is that's being discussed. I wouldn't trust someone to follow TOS that speaks like that to come into a big stream as well. Yeah, very, very true. I can imagine the dodgy language they're going to drop. Yeah, and they would probably quite happily drop it in somebody else's stream. Yeah, definitely. Especially when they, apparently that video about the drugs is when he was younger, he sold drugs to kids or something. Hang on. So now I can't find the actual tweet, but I read it in the comments somewhere. So somewhere he basically said, so a person in the comments said, the reason why he made that video was when he was younger, he sold drugs to kids or something and he learnt from it. And that's what the video is about. It's about learning from doing that thing in the first place. It's like, well, that just makes you like a bad person back then. Oh, here you go. I think this isn't the one, but this also says, I think it's just your content sucks. But yeah, at least you learned something from selling drugs to kids and making a video about it. And it's just like, who are you to even pass judgment on anybody when that's who you are or you were? It's like, that doesn't make you suddenly a hero good person because you did bad stuff and now you don't. You shouldn't do bad stuff in the first place. And if you did bad stuff and now you don't, good for you. Do not criticize how other people live their lives when you are literally a waste of space for doing the bad stuff in the first place. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. This was just really nasty of him to say. I think that everything Asmongold said and everything that Hasan said, well, from that like 2-minute clip we saw, but everything Hasan said, everything that Asmon said, I think was right. And I don't think that he said anything mean either. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't I don't get it. I don't get why everyone's so like mad about it. And even if people didn't like his opinion, let's say they don't agree with his opinion, then it would be like that's fine. I just don't understand why everyone's so mad about it. Why is everyone so mean about it?